My dear brothers and sisters, today I want you to listen with your spirit wide open, because what I am about to share is not just a message. It is a divine announcement. There are moments in life when heaven leans closer to the earth, when God speaks with unusual clarity, and when the timing of His promise carries a supernatural urgency. This is one of those moments. Before you move even an inch, before your mind wanders, I want you to hear me carefully. If you have been waiting, crying, praying, or fighting silent battles, then this message is not for someone else, it is for you. Because what God is about to do between now and 7 November has your name written on it. I am going to reveal 4 prophetic movements God showed me, 4 shifts that will unfold before 7 November. And I promise you this, if you miss even one of these 4, you may miss what God has prepared for your next season. So stay with me till the last word. Let these next moments change your atmosphere, your thinking, and your faith. Let us begin. 1. A divine acceleration is coming. For some of you, life has felt slow, delayed, stuck. You have prayed, you have fasted, you have believed, yet nothing seemed to move. But God says, before 7 November, I will accelerate what has been delayed. When God accelerates something, years become months, months become days, and days become moments. Suddenly, things that were frozen begin to move. God is about to take the very things that were slow in your life, your finances, your healing, your family restoration, your opportunities, and push them forward with divine speed. Acceleration is not human effort. It is the breath of God behind your destiny. And someone listening to me right now, you will testify that what you could not do in years, God will complete before 7 November. 2. Hidden doors will suddenly open. Some doors do not open by knocking. Some doors only open by divine command. You have tried, you have pushed, you have given your best, yet every door seemed locked. But God says, I am about to open what you cannot. Hidden doors, doors you did not even know existed, are about to appear. These are opportunities that were concealed until the right time, and the right time is now, before 7 November. Expect sudden phone calls, unexpected approvals, surprise connections, and divine positioning. When God opens a door, no man, no system, and no power of darkness can close it. 3. A turnaround in personal battles. Some of you are fighting battles no one knows about. Battles in your mind, in your sleep, in your finances, in your relationships. But hear this loudly. Before 7 November, the battle will turn in your favor. What was against you will collapse. What was haunting you will break. What was resisting you will surrender. Turnaround is coming, not because you are strong, but because God has stepped into the battlefield. And when God steps in, every enemy steps back. 4. A wave of unexpected favor. Favor is when God makes people remember you, choose you, help you, and lift you without logical explanation. And this favor is coming to you before 7 November. You will walk into places where you are not qualified, yet you will be accepted. You will receive things you did not ask for. You will see blessings that you did not even imagine. People will say, how did this happen for you so quickly? And you will say, because the favor of God found me. 5. A prophetic alignment for your destiny. God is removing every person who is blocking your growth. He is disconnecting you from the wrong paths and reconnecting you to divine paths. Before 7 November, you will notice relationships shifting, decisions becoming clearer, and your spirit feeling drawn to the right places. This is not confusion. This is alignment. God is putting you exactly where you need to be for your next breakthrough. For many people, the word delay has become a familiar pain. You prayed, you worked, you waited, yet nothing seemed to move. You believed that God would open a door, but the months turned into years and still the same story repeated itself. You started to wonder, has God forgotten me? But hear me carefully, God has not forgotten you. Heaven has been working behind the curtain of your waiting. When God delays, He does not deny. He allows time to prepare you, to prepare the circumstances, and to align the people who will be part of your miracle. But now the Spirit of the Lord says, before 7 November, I will accelerate what has been delayed. It means the time of divine acceleration has come. Acceleration is a moment when God decides to compress time for His children. What others achieve in 10 years, You begin to see in one, what was stagnant begins to move. What was hidden becomes visible, and what seemed impossible suddenly becomes effortless. When divine acceleration enters your life, even your enemies become witnesses of your rising. You do not need to explain. The evidence speaks louder than words. The same hand of God that turned Joseph from a prisoner to a prime minister in a single day is about to turn your situation around. God does not need a committee to bless you. He only needs your faith to agree with His timing. There are some seasons when God waits for you to be ready. But there are also seasons when God says, enough waiting. It is time. When divine acceleration begins, everything connected to your purpose starts to move in harmony. Opportunities find you, lost relationships are restored, finances begin to flow, even your inner peace returns. What used to take endless effort now happens with divine ease. Not because you changed your strength, but because the wind of God has started blowing in your direction. You may still see the same surroundings, but something in the atmosphere will shift. The same job, the same business, the same idea, but now under a different anointing. When God decides to accelerate you, He first changes the rhythm of your life. Things that were slow begin to respond faster. Suddenly, prayers that felt unanswered begin to show fruit. The people who ignored you start remembering you. The doors that were shut begin to open. It is not coincidence, it is prophecy being fulfilled. God has the power to redeem time. You may think you lost years, but God can restore in weeks what the enemy stole in decades. Divine acceleration is not about rushing. It is about restoration. It is God saying, I will make up for what you lost. So, if you are one of those who feels like you are behind in life, I have good news for you. You are not behind. You are just in preparation for acceleration. Look at the story of Elijah. When he heard the sound of the abundance of rain, he told Ahab to go ahead in his chariot. Ahab started early, but the hand of the Lord came upon Elijah, and the man outran the chariot. That is acceleration. When the hand of the Lord comes upon you, you will outrun those who started before you. You will surpass those who had better connections, more experience, and greater resources. You will go further with less, because grace multiplies what you have. Acceleration is not logical, it is supernatural. It does not make sense to the mind, but it makes perfect sense to the spirit. God says, before 7 November, I will bring speed to what has been slow. This includes your prayers, your projects, your healing, your finances, and your dreams. Some of you have been asking, when will it happen? And heaven replies, now. You are stepping into a time when things will happen quickly. The change will be so fast that even you will struggle to keep up with it. One testimony will follow another. Doors will open one after another. The same people who once said nothing is happening for you will be amazed at how everything begins to happen at once. This is what it means when God says, I will do a quick work. But acceleration requires one thing, obedience. God can only accelerate those who are ready to move when He says move. You cannot stay in fear or comfort when the season changes. When God says it is time, you must act in faith. You must let go of the old disappointments and believe again. Speak words of faith, not frustration. Prepare for answered prayers as if they are already on the way, because faith attracts acceleration. When your faith aligns with God's timing, miracles do not take long. They manifest immediately. Some of you have been discouraged because of delays, but those delays were divine. They protected you from premature exposure, from wrong partnerships, and from battles you were not ready to fight. God used the delay to strengthen you. But now that your spirit is mature, He can trust you with more. What once looked like stagnation was actually preparation for elevation. And now the divine clock of heaven has struck the hour of fulfillment. You will not end this season where you began. So lift up your eyes, stop focusing on what didn't work before. The God who turns waiting into winning is working even now. You may not see the full picture yet, but the signs of movement are already appearing. Things are aligning, hearts are softening, and opportunities are positioning themselves in your path. Every tear you cried has been counted, and every prayer you whispered has been heard. Now the answer is being released, not slowly but swiftly. Therefore, rejoice even before you see the result. Begin to thank God for acceleration. Declare with faith, Lord, I receive divine speed over my destiny. Between now and 7 November, you will witness a quickening in your spirit and in your circumstances. You will see how God redeems lost time and multiplies small efforts. You will move from waiting to winning, from hoping to possessing, from praying to praising. This is your season of divine acceleration, and nothing in heaven or on earth can slow down what God has set in motion for you. There are times when every effort you make seems to lead nowhere. You push, you plan, you knock on doors, yet each one remains closed. You begin to wonder if there's something wrong with you, or if you've missed God's timing. But the truth is, some doors are not opened by human hands. They're opened only by divine command. When God says the time has come, no wall can stand in your way. Before 7 November, God says hidden doors will suddenly open. These are not ordinary doors. These are doors that were kept unseen until heaven decided it was time for you to step into the next chapter of your destiny. Sometimes God hides doors to protect you from entering too early. He knows that premature entry can destroy future glory. A door that opens at the wrong time can become a trap. But when the right time comes, when your faith has matured and your heart is aligned with His will, those doors appear effortlessly. You don't have to force them open. They recognize your name. The delay was not denial, it was divine protection. God was waiting for your character to catch up with your calling. Now He says the hidden doors will open. Doors to favor, influence, opportunities, and restoration. Doors that no man can shut. When a hidden door opens, it often happens suddenly. One day, everything looks ordinary, and the next day, everything changes. A message, a call, a meeting, or even a coincidence becomes the key that unlocks what was once invisible. The same people who ignored you start remembering you. The same places that rejected you begin to invite you. You realize that it wasn't you who changed the situation. It was God who whispered to the door, open now. That's what happens when divine timing meets divine purpose. Hidden doors are not always physical opportunities. Sometimes they are spiritual revelations. There are answers God kept hidden until your heart was ready to receive them. There are solutions, creative ideas, and visions that were waiting in the unseen realm. Before 7 November, expect new insight. You will see what you couldn't see before. Suddenly, what was confusing will make sense. The path that looked uncertain will become clear. It's not that the door wasn't there, it was simply invisible until now. The light of God is about to shine on what was hidden, and clarity will replace confusion. Many of you have been faithful in the dark, serving, praying, and sowing without recognition. You thought no one noticed, but heaven did. Every hidden act of obedience was preparing you for this moment. God does not forget faithfulness. When your season changes, He honors you publicly for what you did privately. The door that opens will not just bless you. It will validate every tear, every prayer, and every sacrifice you made in silence. When God opens a hidden door, it is not just an opportunity, it is a reward. There are also relationships that have been hidden, people God has kept behind the scenes, waiting to appear in your life at the right moment. Before 7 November, expect divine connections. Some of the people who will be instrumental in your breakthrough are about to cross your path. It may look random, but it is not. It's the orchestration of heaven. God is aligning hearts, conversations, and encounters to move you forward. When those doors open, discern them. Recognize who is sent by God and who is not. Every open door must be entered with wisdom. Hidden doors also symbolize opportunities that once seemed impossible. Maybe you were told there's no way forward, that the system is closed, that the position is taken, that the dream is unrealistic. But when God opens a door, it doesn't require permission from the system. He can cause one person to resign, one rule to change, or one new space to appear just to make room for you. God specializes in impossible openings. You are about to walk through what others said could never exist. That is the beauty of hidden doors. They are invisible until God reveals them, and undeniable once He does. Remember, when God opens a door, He doesn't need your strength to keep it open. Your only responsibility is to walk through it with faith. Don't hesitate when the opportunity comes. Don't say, I'm not ready. You've been prepared all along. The waiting season trained you, the pain refined you, and the silence matured you. Now, when the door opens, step through boldly. Sometimes the enemy will try to make you doubt it. He will whisper that it's too good to be true, that you're not qualified, but don't believe him. What is opened by God cannot be closed by the enemy. You must also prepare your heart, because hidden doors come with new responsibilities. Every open door carries a new assignment. God is not just promoting you, He is trusting you. The new level will demand more wisdom, more humility, and more dependence on Him. Don't let pride or fear keep you from moving forward. Walk through with gratitude, knowing that what you are receiving is not by merit, but by mercy. Between now and 7 November, you may begin to sense small shifts, unexpected invitations, new ideas, renewed hope. Those are signs that the door is turning its handle. Do not dismiss them as coincidence. Start declaring, Lord, I thank you that hidden doors are opening for me. Speak life into your atmosphere. The language of faith is what unlocks the language of heaven. If you remain expectant, your eyes will notice doors that others overlook. And when the door opens, remember to give God glory. Don't forget where you came from. Don't let success silence your gratitude. Tell your story so that others can know that what happened for you can happen for them. Because when God opens hidden doors, it's never just for one person. It's to inspire many others to believe again. So take courage. What you thought was blocked was simply waiting for divine permission. What you thought was over is about to begin again. You will not have to fight for it or force it. It will open by the hand of God Himself. Before 7 November, watch how your no becomes a yes, how closed doors become gateways, and how hidden paths reveal themselves before your very eyes. Heaven has already turned the key. The time of hidden doors is over, and the season of supernatural openings has begun. There are seasons when life feels like one endless battle. You wake up and fight in your mind, you go to work and fight in your circumstances, and when you try to rest, your heart still wrestles with anxiety and fear. It feels as though every area of your life is under attack. For some, the battle has been financial, for others emotional or spiritual. But whatever the nature of your struggle, hear this clearly. Before 7 November, the battle will turn in your favor. What was once working against you is about to work for you. The war that once drained your strength will soon reveal God's glory in your story. Every great destiny attracts great warfare. You are not under attack because you are weak. You are under attack because you carry something powerful. The enemy does not fight what is empty. He fights what is full of purpose. The fact that you have faced so much resistance is a sign that heaven has placed something significant inside you. But God never allows a battle without already preparing victory. You may feel outnumbered, but you are never outpowered. You may feel exhausted, but you are never abandoned. Even in the middle of the fight, the hand of God has been shielding you from destruction. Sometimes the hardest battles are not the ones people see, but the ones you fight in silence. You smile on the outside, but are breaking on the inside. You try to keep faith while wondering if things will ever change. You cry quietly, praying that no one notices your struggle. But God has seen every tear and heard every unspoken prayer. He says, I have seen your affliction, and I am coming to deliver you. When God steps into the battlefield, the tide changes instantly. He doesn't need to fight for long. A single command from His mouth ends what tormented you for years. Think about the story of the Israelites. When they stood before the Red Sea, the Egyptians were behind them, the water was before them, and fear filled their hearts. It seemed like the end. But God told Moses to stretch out his staff. The sea parted, the impossible happened, and the very path that seemed to trap them became the road to freedom. The same thing is about to happen for you. What has been threatening you will soon serve you. What was meant to bury you will become the ground of your breakthrough. There are battles that are not meant to destroy you, but to define you. God allows certain struggles because He knows that victories gained through pain carry lasting strength. If your faith was never tested, you would never discover how powerful it truly is. The purpose of your battle is not your defeat, it's your development. The moment you stop asking, why me, and start asking, what is God teaching me, you begin to see the battle differently. You realize that the same pressure that tried to crush you was shaping you into someone unshakable. Before 7 November, the Lord says there will be a visible shift. Situations that look stuck will suddenly begin to move. People who were against you will start to withdraw. The confusion that clouded your mind will begin to lift. You will sense peace returning even before the circumstances change completely. That peace will be your first sign that the battle is turning, because before victory appears in the physical, it begins in the spiritual. When your spirit becomes calm, it means heaven has already settled the matter. Do not underestimate the power of praise during your warfare. When you worship, you shift the focus from the size of your problem to the greatness of your God. Praise confuses the enemy because he expects fear, not faith. The walls of Jericho did not fall by weapons, they fell by worship. Likewise, your breakthrough will come not by human might, but by spiritual surrender. When you stop fighting with your hands and start fighting with your faith, miracles happen. Some of you are battling with finances, where every effort feels blocked and every plan ends in disappointment. But remember this, when God steps in, He can turn debt into surplus, scarcity into overflow. For others, the war is emotional. You are tired, discouraged, and close to giving up. But God is sending fresh strength. He will renew your spirit like the eagle, and what once felt heavy will become light again. Still others face relational battles, where misunderstandings, betrayal, or loneliness have wounded your heart. Before 7 November, reconciliation and divine healing will begin. Some connections will be restored, and others will be removed to protect your peace. Either way, the outcome will favor you. Every battle has an expiration date, and yours is near. The enemy cannot keep fighting when God has already declared the end. You will soon look back and realize that what you called a breakdown was actually a setup for breakthrough. The nights you spent crying will give birth to mornings of joy. The same people who doubted your survival will witness your comeback. Because when God fights for you, He does not just deliver you, He vindicates you. So take courage. Stand firm in faith, even when the noise of battle surrounds you. Stay still and trust that heaven is working. The wind of change is already blowing. The chains that held you are weakening. The heaviness on your spirit is lifting. You may not feel it yet, but victory is closer than it appears. God has declared this far and no further. The forces that opposed you have lost their grip, and your deliverance is already unfolding. Between now and 7 November, you will begin to notice unexpected peace where there was once panic, unexpected progress where there was once blockage, and unexpected joy where there was once sorrow. These are not coincidences. They are signs that the battle is turning. Every weapon formed against you will fail. Every curse will reverse, and every mountain will move. What was meant for your harm will become the platform for your testimony. Hold your head high, for your story is changing. The enemy tried to end you, but God is rewriting the ending. You will not finish this season in defeat. You will walk out with victory, strength, and a deeper faith than ever before. The battle belongs to the Lord, and He has already spoken. Before 7 November, you will see His hand, and the battle will turn in your favor. There is a kind of blessing that cannot be explained by logic. It does not come from your effort, your qualification, or your background. It arrives suddenly, beautifully, and powerfully. And when it comes, people can only say, this is the favor of God. Before 7 November, that kind of favor is about to visit your life. You have prayed, waited, and worked faithfully. But now God is saying, I am about to crown your season with favor. This means doors will open without struggle. Hearts will turn toward you unexpectedly, and blessings will locate you without your chasing them. Divine favor is heaven's endorsement over your life, and once it touches you, nothing can remain the same. Favor is not fairness. It is not based on rules or reason. It is God deciding to promote you above what you deserve because of His mercy and His covenant love. When favor enters your story, Rejection turns into recognition, and impossibility turns into opportunity. You may have been overlooked for years, but when favor finds you, it makes up for lost time. Think of Joseph. One night he was in prison. The next morning he was standing before Pharaoh interpreting dreams. He didn't apply for the promotion. Favor called his name. That is how God works. When he decides it's your time, he lifts you without consulting anyone. Before 7 November, expect people to remember you. Some will feel compelled to help you without knowing why. Others will offer opportunities that seem too good to be true. These are not coincidences, they are divine movements. God is placing your name on the hearts of those who can bless you. A phone call, a message, or an invitation will shift your position. Even people who once ignored you will begin to see your value. The same God who turned Esther from an orphan into a queen is still in the business of rewriting stories through favor. When favor comes, things that were difficult suddenly become easy. You will walk into places where you are not qualified, yet you will be chosen. You will receive approval where others were denied. The grace of God will make you stand out in rooms where you once felt invisible. It is not because you are better, but because His hand is upon you. Favor doesn't compete, it completes. It takes ordinary people and gives them extraordinary results. Sometimes God allows seasons of struggle before He releases favor so that you can recognize the difference. If everything always came easily, you would not know the value of divine grace. But after facing rejection, delay, or disappointment, when favor finally arrives, you will know it was God and not you. That is why the coming favor will humble you even as it lifts you. It will make you weep, not from pain, but from gratitude. You will look around and say, how did this happen so quickly? And the answer will echo in your heart, it was the Lord. Favor doesn't only bring increase, it brings influence. It positions you where your voice matters, where your gifts can shine, and where your impact multiplies. God's favor is not just for comfort, it is for purpose. He blesses you so that you can bless others. So when favor begins to flow, don't hide it and don't hoard it. Use it to lift others, to speak truth, to sow generously, and to point people back to God. The more you use favor for His glory, the more it increases. You may not see it yet, but the atmosphere around your life is changing. What was once closed is softening. The ground that seemed barren is beginning to bear fruit. Divine favor is like rain. It refreshes everything it touches. Relationships that were cold will warm again. Clients will return. Opportunities will reopen. And dreams that were sleeping will awaken. The same hands that once pushed you away will begin to pull you forward. That is the mysterious power of God's favor. It changes the hearts of men. But remember, favor requires the right posture. It does not rest on arrogance or complaint. It rests on humility and faith. Stay grateful. Stay expectant. Keep your heart pure and your motives clean. Do not chase people, chase God. Favor follows those who walk closely with Him. When you honor His presence, He makes sure that His favor honors your path. Sometimes favor even disguises itself as disappointment. What looks like rejection is often God redirecting you towards something better. Trust that every no you heard in the past was only preparing you for the greater yes that is on its way. Before 7 November, some of you will experience favor that changes your season completely. Debts will be cleared in unexpected ways. Doors of education, employment, or relocation will open suddenly. Family relationships will be restored. You will receive answers that were stuck for months or years. Even your spiritual life will shift. You will sense God's nearness more deeply. You will feel joy returning to your soul because favor does not only change circumstances, it heals the heart. There will be moments when you will stand in awe, realizing how everything came together perfectly without your plan. That is how favor works. It takes human limitation and replaces it with divine coordination. You will begin to notice how the right people appear at the right time, how ideas connect effortlessly, and how small steps lead to great results. All of this will happen because heaven has decided that it is your turn to be favored, so lift your faith. Begin to thank God in advance. Speak favor over your home, your work, your dreams, and your relationships. Say, Lord, I receive your favor before 7 November. Expect it in your inbox, in your phone, in your meetings, and even in places you least imagine. Favor is not far from you. It is already searching for you. And when it finds you, nothing will remain ordinary. This is your time of divine favor. The struggles that once defined your days will soon be overshadowed by blessings you didn't see coming. You will move from overlooked to chosen, from delayed to accelerated, from striving to receiving. The same mouth that spoke no before will now speak yes. The same hands that once closed the door will now open it wide. All because God decided to favor you. Between now and 7 November, expect the unexpected. Smile even when you don't see it yet, because the wind of favor is already blowing in your direction. You are about to walk in blessings that your effort alone could never produce. And when it happens, remember to say with all your heart, this is the Lord's doing, and it is marvelous in my eyes. There are moments in life when everything seems uncertain. When people change, situations shift, and what once felt stable begins to move, you start to question why doors are closing, why certain relationships are fading, or why you feel drawn in a new direction. But what you may not realize is that God is aligning your life for a greater purpose. Before 7 November, a divine alignment is coming. God is repositioning you, not to punish you, but to prepare you. He is putting you in the right place with the right people at the right time so that His plan for your destiny can unfold perfectly. Alignment is different from achievement. Achievement is what you build with effort. Alignment is what God arranges with grace. You can be talented, hard-working, and sincere, yet if you are out of alignment, nothing flows easily. Things that should work fall apart, and doors that should open remain closed. But when you come into alignment, even small efforts begin to produce great results. You feel peace in your decisions. You attract the right people. You find yourself in the right conversations. That is the beauty of divine alignment. It brings order where there was confusion and direction, where there was delay. Sometimes alignment begins with separation. God removes people, opportunities, or habits that cannot go with you into your next season. It hurts at first because the human heart clings to what is familiar. You may feel like you are losing something valuable, but in truth, God is making space for something greater. Not everyone who started with you is meant to finish with you. Some were seasonal helpers, others were lessons in disguise. When God says, let them go, it is not rejection, it is redirection. Before 7 November, expect changes in your circle. The wrong voices will grow silent, and the right ones will begin to emerge. When God aligns you, He also adjusts your focus. You will start to lose interest in certain things that once excited you. You'll find your priorities shifting, your passions changing, your heart craving deeper purpose. It may confuse you, but it's a sign of spiritual growth. God is refining your desires so they can match His destiny for you. Some dreams will fade, not because they failed, but because they were too small. The new dreams He places in your heart will carry eternal weight. Trust that the changes within you are not random. They are divine signals that you are being realigned. Think about Abraham. God told him to leave his country, his relatives, and his father's house, and go to a land He would show him. Abraham didn't have the full map, only a promise, but the moment he obeyed, he came into alignment with divine destiny. If Abraham had stayed in his comfort zone, he would never have become the father of nations. Likewise, God may not show you every detail of the path ahead, but each step of obedience brings you closer to His perfect will. When you align your steps with His voice, He aligns circumstances with your destiny. Before 7 November, expect to feel guided in ways you can't fully explain. You may feel a strong pull toward a decision, an idea, a conversation, or even a new place. Don't dismiss those gentle nudges. They are the Holy Spirit's way of guiding your alignment. You may also sense certain doors closing, and though it may sting, realize that God closes doors not to limit you, but to protect you. Every no from heaven is making room for a bigger yes. Every delay is positioning you for divine timing. Alignment means being at peace, even when you don't understand everything. because you trust that God's hand is arranging it all for your good. As alignment begins, clarity will come. Things that were confusing will start to make sense. You'll look back and realize why some prayers were delayed, why certain relationships ended, and why certain opportunities never worked out. You'll see that God was never ignoring you. He was directing you. What looked like detours were actually divine shortcuts. The pieces that once felt scattered will suddenly fit together. You will understand that what you lost was never meant to last, and what remains is exactly what you need for where you're going. Alignment also brings acceleration. Once God positions you correctly, everything that was stagnant begins to move. Connections happen quickly. Ideas flow freely. Resources show up unexpectedly. It's like the wind of heaven pushes you forward. When your assignment, location, and relationships are aligned, heaven backs you up in everything you do. You no longer strive, you glide. You no longer chase, you attract. That is the ease of being in sync with divine timing. However, divine alignment also requires trust. Sometimes you will not see immediate results. The changes God is making may feel uncomfortable or even lonely. But remember, alignment often feels like disruption before it feels like direction. When the potter reshapes the clay, it first loses its form before it becomes beautiful again. God is reshaping you, not breaking you. Stay pliable in His hands. Don't resist the process. Every shift is making you stronger, wiser, and more ready for your next level. Before 7 November, many of you will experience this shift tangibly. You will meet people who carry keys to your next opportunity. You will receive instructions that bring sudden peace. You will find yourself walking away from certain environments without guilt or hesitation. These are signs that divine alignment is taking place. Where there was confusion, there will be clarity. Where there was frustration, there will be flow. God is bringing everything in your life into order. Your emotions, your relationships, your finances, your ministry, your mind. And when the alignment is complete, you will realize that the wait was worth it. The people around you will marvel at how suddenly everything seems to fit, how doors open with ease, and how you walk in confidence you never had before. But deep inside, you will know it was not sudden. It was the outcome of silent preparation. God has been arranging every detail, every delay, every disappointment, and every divine encounter to position you perfectly for what is coming. So lift your faith. Stop mourning over what is shifting and start rejoicing for what is aligning. Say, Lord, align my life with your purpose. Remove what hinders, restore what helps, and guide my steps. You are about to enter a season where everything begins to make sense. The right people, the right timing, the right opportunities, they are all converging under heaven's design between now and 7 November. Watch how God puts you exactly where you need to be, with exactly who you need to be with, to fulfill exactly what He has called you to do. This is your moment of prophetic alignment. And once it happens, no power on earth will be able to stop what God has started in you.